It's Wednesday, which means time for Workout Wednesday. We're at the Peoria Riverplex with Justin Bolkema. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We're talking about
Overuse injuries and corrective exercise assessments. So we use these for a lot of our different things. Our personal training programs, I use them a lot with our sports performance athletes. Our new program, Race Your Level, we're actually using it for a lot of runners. But basically just a few different, very simple tests that kind of help us create a plan best for you.
in my hands.
Yep, grab it with your hands.
Okay. What are those tests like?
Again, very simple. Usually you're just going to have to take your shoes off and just go through a few different body weight tests. Basically, we're just kind of trying to see how you naturally move. So we're not going to coach you up too much, but they're just very like a squat, overhead squat type of thing. And we're just looking at different parts of your body as you're doing it. So what your ankles are doing, what your knees, what your hips are doing, just to kind of see how you move in the most natural way.
Are these tests for athletes only?
Definitely not, definitely not. We all kind of, as we grow older, we all kind of have our different kinks. Undercompensations, overcompensations. Bring this hand underneath and grab it right down here. Muscles that might be overactive, underactive, things like that, that could actually lead to injury, especially in something like running or repetitive motion. Even in work, maybe your job is to stack things up high and you're developing a certain movement pattern where you have other weaknesses somewhere else, and this is going to help us identify those.
What is the difference between this versus physical therapy?
That's a great question. We're definitely not claiming to be physical therapists. We're not diagnosing injuries when we do this. If I would see anything that would be a red flag to me, I would definitely refer out to a physical therapist. The difference between this is we're just kind of looking at those movement patterns that are already there. A lot of times, maybe if your knee's crashing in or you're having some knee pain, knees up for me just a little bit. Go ahead and lay them back down. Through these tests, maybe I can see that this side of your body might be a little bit too tight. This side of your body might be a little bit too weak, and we need to strengthen it a little bit more. And so just a few different simple exercises with the foam roller and some stretching and some low-level core activation exercises before the workout can get you moving in the right direction.
What injuries do you typically see?
A lot of injuries, I mean, in our athletes, it kind of depends on the sport. So maybe if you're a throwing or an overhead athlete, we'll see a lot of shoulder mobility issues and shoulder stability issues. General population, a lot of hip and a lot of intrinsic core strengthening. All of that, as we've talked about before, all needs to work together. So a lot of time, if you have knee pain, that could be even originating from the shoulder or the upper back. Then I was also watching your knees and your ankles. Your knee did crash in just slightly. It wasn't terrible. I've seen a lot worse. And so kind of looking at a bunch of different tests together is going to kind of help us narrow in on those areas. Any sort of other overuse injuries, again with the shoulders, a lot of low back pain, and then just a lot of knee pain as well.
How in the world would you fix a hip injury?
And that's if it was an injury, I'd go physical therapy. Now, if this is something where it's got some inflammation in there and it's basically just angry at you, a lot of times if foam rolling out the hamstrings or maybe the IT bands and then just doing some strengthening with some extra band work is going to go a long ways.
Justin, I appreciate you joining us this morning for Workout Wednesday, and that will wrap up another successful Workout Wednesday.